Just want to say thanks for stopping by, folks. Links for everything is down below. If you enjoy this commentary, please subscribe. Thanks. Hey, Josiah, you there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm here.
Cool, man. Hey, you ready? Let's get this started.
Yeah, I'm. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Hey, everybody. Awesome. We've already got some folks in here. Ty, thanks for showing up, buddy. This is really cool. Unfortunately, folks, I do not have video of Josiah because OBS and Skype suck balls. And not together, of course, because then they would actually work together. They suck separate balls. But yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and get started. I'm here with my good friend Josiah Upton. I have known him now for close to 20 years. We met in '98. I think that was right.
I think it was 99.
99.
I think
I know. I remember the summer of '99. The summer of '99 was.
2000.
You're right. Summer of 2000. But yeah, I think you're right. Summer of '99. Where I mean, we didn't live too far away from each other. I would be over your house all the time playing Nintendo 64 and all that good jazz, and yeah, and just kind of just stayed friends throughout the years. Gone off and done different things. You went and got married. I joined the Air Force, and you had kids, and I had kids, and here we are, still almost 20 years later, still friends, still talking every once in a while, and uh, it's always good to it's always good to talk to you, buddy. Um, so yeah, that's kind of our backstory. We're a couple of nerds that used to play video games together and make stupid movies together, and yeah.
I wish I still had those. I think they're hiding somewhere. I don't know where they are. I might need to go hit up my mom. She may have them in a box somewhere.
So there may have been news on that. I remember for the longest time that you thought that I had them, and I think that you might have been correct because when my folks were moving out of their house, I do believe that there was a sighting of the tape.
Oh, really?
So I think that you may have been correct. That means that tape has been sitting in my parents' place for close to 15 years, and yeah, the good thing though is what, they still have a VCR that still works. So
But weren't they were like little tiny tapes, weren't
yeah,
they?
we had to have the little tape adapter to go with it, and
Yeah.
so and I think I had the tape adapter too.
Kids
So
never understand.
I know, I know. Anyways, so Josiah, please tell me how you're doing, man. Now that you've released your third book.
I'm doing pretty good. I released it on Halloween, October 31st, and it's been quite a few years in the making. I started writing the first book in 2012, about summer 2012, after I'd finished my debut novel, which has since been unpublished because I realized it was kind of a starter novel and I didn't really make a sequel to it. I just kind of went nowhere, so I just kind of took that off and went full steam ahead with Sons of Sludge and the sequels, and now the series is called Postmortem Anomalies. So as a whole, the series has taken a little over 5 years, and it's good to finally be done.
Yeah, how's it feel to be done? Just a big sense of accomplishment, big weight off your chest, or a little all the above.
Yeah, a little all the above. Um, there were times where I would be writing, especially in the second book, because the second book took forever. It took like over 2 years to make, just because I never really got into a good groove and didn't really have too much time in my schedule. Having kids, job, all that, kind of squeeze that. And so after a while, I'd just sit at my computer and I'd be like, I just kind of want to be out of this world. I've been in here for years, and I love
Yeah,
these characters I'm making. I love, but at the end, I was like, I just kind of want to move on to something new. And then when I got into book three, I kind of got a pretty good groove and went, at a good pace. So I was able to finish out, and I'm pretty proud of what I was able to accomplish.
Where did you get the idea for the postmortem anomalies? Was it something that you wanted to write in the beginning? Like what it turned out to be? Was it something that you eventually wanted it to be, or did it start off as something completely different? Because I know Um, when we were younger, we were both kind of into the fantasy stuff, especially with Lord of the Rings,
Oh yeah.
and um, so did this type of book end up being something that you wanted it to be, or did it kind of morph into something else as it was going along?
Well, what started it was I was talking to my wife Jessica about the next book that I wanted to write, and I was thinking about, oh, maybe I could write a zombie book or maybe a dystopian book. I was like, well, actually, those are kind of synonymous. At least, if it's a zombie book, it's automatically dystopian. And so I thought, what if it wasn't? What if zombies were in the story, but it wasn't a dystopian society? It was actually a functioning society where zombies were just a fact of life, and life was just going on. And I'm not going to claim to be the first person to come up with that idea. I'm sure there's plenty of other books, movies, shows, whatever that have come before me that have done that concept. But to me,
Right.
it was fresh. And so I wanted to go forward with that. And so that's where I came up with. I thought, I want to make the main character a member of the undead. But I was thinking, well, you can't really have a full-on zombie be the main character because they're brainless sacks of meat, just
Right.
walking
Right.
around, not thinking, they're just doing. So that's where I came up with the idea for a hybrid reanimate, where they were kind of like essentially a half zombie. There was a zombie apocalypse 100 years in the past, and they took out all the zombies, but then there's a mutation of the virus that was passed on, and whoever has this mutation or who has this virus as a child, once they hit puberty, the hormones kind of kick in, and it triggers their transformation, and they die and they come back, and they're actually sentient beings, but they still hunger for human flesh, and they do lose a little bit of their IQ. So there's kind of that zombie factor, but they're still able to
Sure.
think.
Right.
And on top of that, they also had a rage where they would be irritated at the drop of a hat, and they'd be willing to kill anybody, break them to pieces. And then they also had a sex drive too, which I don't think regular zombies have. So
Probably not. If they do, it would probably be some form of necrophilia, right? I mean,
well, technically, these beings did die and they come back. So I mean, if you want to think about it, it is kind of necrophilia.
I guess so. Yeah.
So for all you necrophiliacs out there, enjoy. It's a great
Yeah.
ride.
Yeah. It's a great. So tell me about the main character. Where did you pull any inspiration for your characters in real life?
Um, the main character's name is Zal, and he is a guy. He's a teenager. He's been trapped in a basement for 4 years, and basically he's been learning how to act like a human, to pretend to be like a human. He has this man that keeps him trapped in the basement. He doesn't know who he is or how he got there. And slowly over time, he learns how to control himself, and then he learns how to put on makeup and a wig and all this other stuff, so that he can finally actually go to school for the first day. So basically, before the first page even starts of the first book, he's already had years of training to hide who he is. And so a lot of inspiration I got from that was from the show Dexter, because
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, throughout the whole show, he has this dual nature where he's pretending to be this regular guy, family guy, smiling, interacting with people, but in reality, he's hiding his darker self. He always called it his dark passenger, where he just wants to kill people.
Right.
And so that's a lot. Got a lot of inspiration for Zal from Dexter Morgan, the character.
Did you pull any other inspiration from? Did you get any inspiration from people that you've known in real life? Like for instance, did your wife take part in your book, or perhaps any of your kids? Uh, um, or anything like that. Because me and you have known a lot of people, a lot of different, also a lot of strange characters over the years,
Hmm.
especially during our Team House years. Did any of those guys make it into the book?
Um, that I know of, I don't think any real life people manifested themselves into this series. I know my brother David and my friend Jacob, they kind of partially got mixed into one character
Okay.
in Float, my first book that I've unpublished. If anybody has read that, like all three of you that have ever read that, you would know the character I'm talking about. But as far as this series goes, I don't believe so. I did get inspiration for one character. He's kind of the villain that he's just this real weasel, nasty guy, and he's throughout all the books. And I got the inspiration for him from Tuco Salamanca from Breaking Bad.
Okay.
And, and whenever I was writing the book, I kept picturing Raymond Cruz, the actor
Yeah.
that played Tuco Salamanca. Anytime I was writing that character or imagining him as a scene playing out, I always pictured Raymond Cruz as playing that character. And if it were to, I mean, it's never going to get turned into a movie, but let's just say it did, he would be my first pick to be that character. Would be Raymond Cruz.
I think that's an excellent pick, man. That would be real. That if it happens, I hope that it does because that would be really fucking cool. So tell me, how is it being an author, being a part-time worker, a full-time dad, full-time husband? It's that is a shit ton on your plate, man. I mean, how do you balance it all?
It is, and when I got married, and especially when I started having kids, my motto has always been, families comes first, no matter what. And I know that's how you roll too, as a dad and as a husband. And so, it's still, in my eyes, being an author to me is a hobby. I haven't really gotten to the point where it's a career, where it's actually a viable income. So it's still, for me, in the hobby zone. And because of that, if something comes up with my family or with work or something, unfortunately, my writing has to take the back seat. But that's fine. I'm not bitter about that because the number one thing in my life is my family
Right.
and the means to support them and to watch my kids and do whatever I need to get that side done.
Well, now that this series is done, are you going to be moving on to say a new type of genre to write about, or are you going to kind of go with the kind of like a subgenre of where it's a like a teen undead guy uh, and trying to make it in the real world, or are you going to try to tackle something else next?
Well, actually, I'm already almost done with the first book of my next series. The
Really?
first, yes. This one, it's in the teen and young adult genre, which that's just kind of the age range that I like to stay in because that's also, I mean, if I'm going to read a book, that's kind of like the book I like to read. The older, more literary books. I mean, I like some Stephen King books, but for the most part, I guess I just never grew out of that teen, young adult books, and so that's why I like to write in as well. So this one is YA, young adult as well, but this is a paranormal or sorry, urban fantasy, and it's a little more grounded in some ways, but in other ways not. The one I just finished, it was set 100 years in the future, and it was
Right.
I called it post dystopian, where it was a dystopian society that kind of got back on its feet a little bit with some. But this new series, this actually takes place in present day, and it takes place in Fort Worth, Texas, my hometown.
All right.
And the series is called Fort Weird. You see what I did there?
Yeah,
Fort,
yeah. I see
Fort
what you.
Weird.
Fort
Yeah,
Weird. Some
yeah.
some people from Austin are if they ever read your book, they're gonna be like, Fort Worth isn't weird. Austin's weird. We're the weird ones.
Well, I am fully aware how weird Austin is.
I know you are.
It,
I'm just saying. Anyways, so not to break it up, but we have good old Wonder Cool Guy in the chat.
oh,
Yeah.
I know.
Uh, he says your wife translation, I guess, from talking about we're from the family side, your wife does everyone. Of course, he has to throw that in there. And Tuco or Sniper from Training Day talking about the characters from before. So
Yes, King Day as well, definitely. He was great in that.
yeah. Uh, so, anyways, thank you, thank you, Mr. Blaine, for yeah. uh, sorry. Yeah. He says sorry. I meant everything. We know you did, buddy. We know you did. There's no sorry, not sorry. Okay. So I'm gonna kind of switch gears here. Where are you kind of with your music? I know that you haven't. I know you probably haven't done too much with it lately, but is there any? Do you kind of plan on getting back into to music? Maybe make a metal musical opera with any of your books?
You know, I've toyed with that idea. It would probably be a massive failure if I tried it, but I did toy with the idea of writing a book and then making a soundtrack that went with it. If that made any sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, that's I mean that's what Coheed and Cambria kind of does
really.
with their albums. It's I mean there's all of their stuff prior to the new CD was based off of a comic book that their lead singer Claudio Sanchez has written, or a story that he's written. So I mean if you were to do that, I mean that's I mean it's been done, and so. I, Anyways, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt your flow. I
No,
don't know.
that's. I
So
remember. You were a huge Coheed fan back in the Team House days.
yeah,
I never really checked them out, but I do remember that they had a little comic book series, which is really awesome that they're able to do both of those channels. That's great,
yeah.
and and
So
I would love to if it was feasible, and I had enough, I guess disposable time to toy with that. Maybe I would. But by that time, I'll probably be a middle-aged man, and it'll be extra depressing for a 40-something man to be picking up his guitar and getting some little beats off of a drum machine and trying to make music for.
why would that be depressing? I think that sounds great. I think that sounds especially if it's something that you want to do, man. I think
Yeah.
that sounds awesome.
Well, music is it's always a big part of my life. Even if I'm not playing it, just listening to it is. I don't think I'm ever going to stop listening to music, if that makes any sense. I mean,
Right.
that's strange because it seems like nobody stops listening to music, but maybe I'm just a snob. But me and Jessica have talked about, like, sometimes we just feel like people like music, but they don't really like music. I don't know. I'm sounding really stupid right now saying this, but
No, I get what you're saying. It's people always enjoy music, something that they listen to, something to pass the time, something to kind of. But how often do folks actually sit down with their music and try to be a part of it while it's playing, be let it
yeah,
let try to relate to the music, and no, I think I get what you're saying. I,
it's just not just something that you put in the car, while you're driving, which I do. I think everybody does, or not just something you dance to. I think you actually, I guess, sit down and appreciate it. I guess this is gonna sound really dumb, but make it a part of your soul or whatever. Um, so yeah, I mean, music's always gonna be big in my life, and me and Jessica, we actually have a couple of acoustic guitars. I have one, she has one, and every once in a while we'll sit down and we'll try to do a little acoustic cover of a song together, and that's kind of something that I want to continue doing.
that's adorable.
It is also very fun, just have a couple drinks and then look up a song and say, hey, let's play this together and see if we can make it a little bit different. And I mean, neither one of us are singers, especially not me. So I mean, we're not going to be topping the charts or anything, but it is something just kind of fun to do and to be a part of.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Your brother can attest to this. I'm not a singer either, and you could also attest to this. I'm not a singer either. Um, you missed the big karaoke party that we did for Catherine this year, and which I got nice and toasty and was
Yeah.
all over the mic. And yeah, no, it was horrible. Your brother, however, was dropping lots of he was doing lots of covers of Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg, and it was really fucking funny.
Yeah.
And anyways, um, well, so, well, since this is a gaming channel, I have to ask you, what kind of games are you and your boys into right now? Have you gotten the new Mario Odyssey? You have the newest. You have a new Switch yet? What's going on in the gaming world of the Upton House?
Well, okay, so we kind of talked about when you and I were younger, we'd play a lot of games and stuff, like Smash Brothers and WWF No Mercy and Roller Coaster Tycoon, Diablo 2, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
As I've gotten older, and especially since I've had more kids, and I'm trying to juggle all these other balls, I have I'm always gonna love playing games. That's never gonna change.
Sure.
But finding the time to do it, and if my middle son Ozzy, he loves playing video games.
Right.
That's his number one thing almost in life. And so
That's Luke. Luke loves playing Legend of Zelda.
yeah,
He plays. He doesn't even play Breath. He plays Breath of the Wild, but he doesn't do anything. He just runs around the world and just kills things and picks up new weapons to go kill other new things.
hey,
So
if that's what it takes, if
yeah,
that's what you want,
yeah.
that's all to do.
So, but anyways, but Ozzy's really into gaming.
Yeah, and occasionally we'll hook up Smash Brothers, and he's actually gotten pretty good. His favorite character is Diddy Kong. I kind of bounce around the place. I play Rob and Bowser Jr., Peach, Mr. Game and Watch, Dr. Mario, stuff like that.
Is this on the Wii U or on the Wii?
The Wii U, yeah.
Yeah.
The Smash Bros. Came out in 2014 for
Yeah.
the Wii. And then apart from the games that I'm kind of roped into playing with my kids, I did play Doom,
Yeah.
and and I actually really love that because me and my brother David, we played Doom when we were kids on the computer,
Right.
and we in the team house days we played Doom 3. And so when this came out, and it took a while for me to actually get it, but then I got it on the PS4, and I think it's great.
Yeah, it is. It's a fantastic game.
The preferred way to play a first person shooter is always on a PC, but unfortunately I don't have that. Um, so I mean I have like a lame little laptop. I don't really have a gaming machine.
Right.
So I played that on the PS4,
Right.
and I think it was great.
Yeah, buddy.
And
So, Aaron, Wonder Cool Guy, says that the last time that he played Smash Bros. With you, you weren't good at any of those characters that that you were playing.
I'm gonna say that's fake news right now.
Fake news.
Incorrect. I've bumped Aaron Blaine many times.
Yeah.
Characters. So.
So, since do your boys play any of the wrestling games that say like we used to play, or according to you, that they've not made a wrestling game since No Mercy, and your boys have no idea what the WWE 2K games are?
Well, the best wrestling games are always going to be the ones made by AKI.
Yeah.
That I think the first one that I started playing was World Tour,
Right. Yeah.
and then they had WCW Revenge. That was great. That's when I really started to get into that series, and then it just got better from there. You had the WrestleMania 2000, and then the best of all time, WWF No Mercy.
Of
And
course.
if you go and you look at what other people say, fans of wrestling games that have been around for a while, they're always going to say that's the ultimate right there. That's the model that most should be based off of. But wrestling is still going on strong. They have new games every year. 2 a year, 1 a year. and so they have to keep pumping them out, and that game has kind of gotten pushed back and lost in the past.
Well,
I
I'll
that
tell
they
I'll
were
tell you
to
what, buddy. This year when the new WWE 2K game came out, a bunch of different publications, online publications like Kotaku, Destructoid, I think even Polygon did an article about it, about how 2K Games has really dropped the ball when it comes to wrestling games, and that they need to abandon the Ukes engine, and they need to go back to the guys that did the AKI arcade type of engine,
hmm
because and with that they would do a top 10 of the best wrestling games of all time,
yeah,
and at least two of the AKI games would be in the top five.
yep,
So I think that says something, that 20 years later, that games that came out then with the just look at them now, they're just the worst 3D graphics in the fucking world.
yeah,
um, Kids can beat out these new AAA type of games that have millions and millions of dollars in their budget,
yeah.
and so. But anyways, that's enough about that. I was just hoping to know whether or not your kids were playing No Mercy. That's all.
Well, I have a 64 in my garage, but I'm missing the power supply, and I don't have any games or controllers. They
It's just a paperweight sitting in your garage now. Then.
Well, unless they make a port for it, uh, maybe they have. I don't know. And the controls are, what they used to be. They unfortunately may never get to play any of those games.
Well, yeah. Well, I hope that's not true, buddy. Um, so let's wrap this back around, and tell me about the deals of Amazon for your book. Where can we find your book? Is there anywhere else besides Amazon that we can find your book? Why don't you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, right now I am exclusively on Amazon, which is pretty standard for new authors or authors that haven't really quite hit the big time. Because most books are through Amazon. Now you have some other channels. You have Barnes and Nobles, Kobo, Apple Books, a couple other avenues, but Amazon is always going to be the big one. And so there's a lot of perks that come with being exclusive to Amazon. And so as of now, that's where I'm at. In the future, they call it going wide. I may expand to other channels. Until then, it's just on Amazon. So if you look me up, Sons of Sludge, the first in the series, is only 99 cents. So it's kind of the gateway, get your fix. And if you enjoy that, then you can move on to the next two books, which are, I believe, $2.99 and $3.99. And if you are a member of Kindle Unlimited, then you can read all of them for free if you are a
Oh, wow.
member on Kindle Unlimited. And the cool thing about Kindle Unlimited is for every page that's read, I get credited, I don't know, like half a cent or something. And so I actually get paid now, if it adds up, you actually get some decent money. And some people make some really good money on Kindle Unlimited if you
Okay.
get reading your pages. So that's another thing. That's another option. And as far as print books, the first one is in print. It's kind of like a placeholder I have because I put it out and then I had to change the cover, and so it's not quite up to par. But I think sometime in the future, I'm probably going to make print copies of all three in the series
Do you
and
have
try
a
to.
Do you have a publisher to go with that, or is that also through Amazon that you get your print copies made?
It's through a company called the Create Space, and I think they're owned by Amazon. And
Okay.
it's really easy. It's streamlined. You just upload your file, and you upload the cover image, and then it's print on demand, where they don't print it until somebody orders it. So you don't
Okay.
you don't have to buy like 500 copies and then try to sell them all yourself.
Right. That makes
And
it a lot easier for small time authors to kind of get their foot in the door at the physical print space, and that's that. That sounds like a really good deal. So, uh, Josiah, I appreciate your time, man. I'm really proud of you for starting and finishing this project. I wanted to be able to give you an opportunity to talk about your book, um, give you a platform to kind of put yourself out there. I will be posting the recording of of this interview to YouTube,
Okay.
so that you can link to it whenever, and people can go back and watch this as well, just to get to know the author a little bit more. Mr. Wonder Cool Guy says congrats on the books. I think he's proud of you as well, even though he'll never admit it.
Thanks.
Uh, and um, uh, like I said, I'm very proud of you, bud. It's a long time coming for you. This is a big accomplishment that not very many people can say that they've done. So you should be proud of yourself as well. I wish you the best on your next project. I'm looking forward to reading it. And yeah, man. I hope you have a good night. All right.
Awesome. Thanks for taking the time to talk with me about this.
Yeah, man.
And it's always great to hear from you, and I'm really proud of you too. I've known you for years, and you've always been a real solid guy, puts family first, puts friends first. So, good luck to you too.
Thanks, man.
When we got people like Wonder Cool Guy on our side, we're destined for greatness. So.
Absolutely, absolutely. Catherine also says, "Good job," and from Wonder Cool Guy, he says, "Pirates vs Ninjas forever." So
Easter egg for those who know.
So that MySpace page is still up and running. So you know, yeah. So, anyways,
Are the songs still on? Is the
uh,
audio still
I think the audio still works. Yeah. So,
we were talking about music earlier. If you want to hear my crappy guitar riffs with a horrible tone, you can go check out the Pirates vs. MySpace page.
You know what? I hope they do. Maybe they'll get some hits, and someone will be like, you know what? We need to get that back.
We do.
Yeah.
We need to get
it. All right, buddy. Well, you know what? You have a good night. I see Ozzy there. Ozzy, you have a good night too. Okay, buddy. And he's shy. All righty. Cool.
All right.
Take it easy, buddy.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So, folks, thanks for chiming in. That was Josiah Upton, the famed author. I'm super proud of him. This was a good interview, and like I said, everything's gonna be on YouTube probably later tonight. I'm gonna take this recording and just edit it up. I'll post links for all of his books and in the description of the video. So just stay tuned. Just look for it on Facebook. So thanks for joining us. I hope you guys have a good night, and you take it easy. All right. Bye bye.